Hi, this is Jojo's Mojo, and I am on here with Terry Walker. Welcome, Terry Walker. How you doing today? And thank you for coming on to my show.
Oh, it's a fabulous day, and I'm very grateful to be here with you, Jojo. I'm telling you, it's exciting to even be able to be one of the guests on your show.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome. All right, we're gonna come back after this word from our sponsor.
Wait, you want some more? Wait, you want some more? Okay. Wait, you want some more? Wait, you want some more?
Welcome back to JoJo's Mojo, where I have Terry Walker here with me. We're gonna talk about Terry's lowest time. Now, this is a little bit more serious, but we're gonna get a little bit more lighthearted as the show goes on. But what was your lowest of low?
Well, Joanna, I think my lowest of low was probably about 10 or 11 years ago. And my partner of 12 years left, and and she took our son. And I was removed from them for a while, and it was a very difficult time for me. And I had to begin to learn and read and change the way I looked at things. And as I did, the things I looked at changed. And I always wondered, what can I do differently to keep repeating these same types of scenarios of loss and like I wrote in my book, The Resume of Life, many of us, or I felt like I was like a hamster on a wheel, just running and running and running and never getting anywhere. And so that was pretty much the lowest of low in my life. And once I began reading and learning and studying, and I'm a big Wayne Dyer fan, and he wrote a book, the book of the Tao and Wisdom. Basically, when you change your thoughts, change your life. And when I started pouring myself into that and exercising and changing my nutrition, when I changed the way I looked at things, the things I looked at changed. And that's when I set myself on a road to improving and self-development. My background is in mental health, and I'd done a lot of this, but I had forgotten a lot about it. And this is when the tide really began to change through self-development and growing within myself. The power of affirmations, I took that on. And as I walked, I played affirmation games with myself, and I replaced those old tapes of running that had been running for so many years with new, more positive ways of being, thinking, and doing.
That's amazing because you made me think of something that I just started recently. I am doing this exercise program, and we're doing rotations.
Yeah.
So the example for me was the other day, based on what you're telling me, the other day, I was saying I ams as I was moving around the room. But guess what the first I am was? A negative I am.
Exactly. And we have to learn to replace those things.
I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm like, you know what? No, I am a strong, powerful woman.
Yes. Yes. And so many of us begin our statements, and when you change this, and I would begin to get out and talk with people and hear what people were saying, because I was listening differently, but I also knew that my words were changing, and I was becoming more positive and productive in my life, and my energy was improving. But on the I am aspect of it, I would hear people say such things, and you try this sometime next time you're talking to somebody, or maybe even catch yourself saying it, is people will start a sentence with something like, I'm afraid that it's going to rain today, or I'm afraid that the other shoe is going to drop, or I'm going to lose this thing that I'm holding on to so tightly. And you begin your sentence with, I'm afraid. I am afraid. I'm afraid. And you've automatically put that out there into the universe to be mirrored back to you. And you're living basically in fear because of that.
Definitely. And I'm in recovery. So they use the word fear as false evidence appearing real.
Absolutely. And I teach a lot on that. And there's always two sides to every coin. So do you know the other acronym for the more positive side of fear?
What's that?
Okay, you got the false evidence appearing real, or you can face everything and rise.
Oh, I like that a lot better. I noticed how my energy shifted
Yeah.
when you
Face
said the
everything
two.
and- Yeah.
What's another thing that you use to help you get through a fearful moment?
The power of now. Bringing myself back into the moment and trying to understand exactly what I need to do to get through this moment. Because so many of us stress about our past or worry about our past, and we keep carrying that forward, which is usually fear-based. And that causes us to stress actually about our future. And so we're living in this chaotic fear, worry, stress future. And we have to bring ourselves back to the power that we have in this moment. That is our most, that is the most powerful time and situation that we have, because we don't ever know what's going to happen in the next moment. But if we bring ourselves back into balance of saying, okay, I'm going to let go of the past. I'm not going to worry about the future right now. And I'm just going to think about what exactly can I do in this very moment in time. And that is what I use to get through it. And we'll worry about the next moment in the next moment.
Very cool. Now that you're in the now, we're going to take a quick commercial break with Terry Walker. On our break, we were talking about mindset and breathing and all those kind of things. What do you use when you're doing like meditation or any kind of meditation or visualizations or mindset practices? Go into a little bit more detail.
Well, one of the things actually that I do, and I'm glad that you mentioned that, because that is, I mean, that brings out our greatest creativity. It stops the mind from continuously running those tapes that we talked about earlier, or being stressed out about what's going on, because meditation actually brings you into the power of now. And this is where we take a few minutes and be mindful of just trying to relax our bodies, and also to be able to slow the mind down. There's the conscious mind, which is always going and going and going. And then there's the subconscious mind, which actually provides us with our greatest creativity, our greatest knowing, and the things that we truly have within us that we can bring out. And meditation actually helps to do that with basically slowing the mind down, relaxing the body, and allowing yourself to either just listen to if you're outside, just listen to the sounds of nature, and learning to try to be one with that. If you're inside, maybe if you hear the air conditioning running, something that's like a hum, or maybe some really soothing meditative type music that you can get on YouTube or anywhere, to just focus on that and the feelings that are going on within your body, and allowing yourself to just be at peace and at rest and as one with that. And you can't beat yourself up, because this is a practice. So if you're just learning to do this, if you can do it for 5 or 10 minutes, that's great. But don't beat yourself up if some of those old tapes or those thoughts of, oh, I've got to get this done in the next 30 minutes, so I need to hurry up and do this. Don't beat yourself up if those thoughts start coming in. Just put a stop to them and bring yourself back into the moment. And you can set yourself a timer on your phone or whatever for 5 or 10 minutes. And just, you can do that 2 or 3 times a day, or you can build up to doing it longer, for longer periods of time.
That sounds amazing, because earlier today I was listening to something that talked about a schedule. A practice you have, a daily regiment. Now, my father's in the military, as well as your father was in the military. And I do remember my father having his own little things he did every day in the same order to help him to be grounded. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
We all fall into habits. And one of the things that I talk about in some of my trainings is break your snooze button habit for good. Because a lot of us get off into procrastination or putting things off. And we need to learn to identify those habits that may not be serving us well. And sometimes we don't even know what those are. And that's kind of the snooze button that we keep pushing and putting things off all the time. But in the process of that, we can look at these habits that may be hindering us, but we first have to identify them. And then we can move into habits of improvement of things that we can do. And we need to have a structure and consistency. And, with COVID, Joanne, many of us have gotten way off track because maybe we're working from home, or maybe we've lost our job and we're stressed and things like that. But we've given up maybe our daily routines and taking a shower or getting dressed. The old adage, get up, dress up, show up. And some of us have kind of stopped doing that. So we need to have a healthy, productive routine. And when you first wake up in the morning, that is the time when your mind and your body is the most at rest and most at peace. And these are the times that we need to either have some gratitude and set our intentions for the day before we even get out of the bed. And I talk about too some meditative, gentle kindness exercises that we can do in the morning. But what do many of us do before we get out of the bed? We've got that phone laying right over there beside us. Yeah, we do. And we pick it up and we look at our email, or we look and see if we got any messages on text, or we check our social media and see, we might have missed something through the night. And that has just changed every aspect of that peaceful, calm, waking up feeling, and thrown us into chaos for the day. Or we go check our emails, or if we're working from home and we run check those emails, or we've got to send some emails out, instead of taking a moment when we first wake up in the morning and providing some gentle kindness for ourselves and maybe some gratitude for even waking up that day and setting an intention for our day.
Yeah, I think it works really well. I actually have one for myself, and it does start off my day on the right foot.
Yes.
All right.
Starting off on the right foot.
Yeah. When we come back, we're going to go into what Terry is doing now into the future. I'm really excited to share that with you guys. We'll be back after this break. Thank you. We're back with Terry. It's so exciting to have you here. So let me know, what is your next thing that you want to accomplish this year?
Well, I'm working on bridging the gap training off the ground with parents and educators, and we're training them for the benefit and self-esteem and emotional confidence of our children, because this is something that is being dramatically missed, and especially now with COVID and stress and fear and change going on. And so this is a program that actually is going to help parents and educators to improve their ways of being, thinking, and doing, with helping with confidence and emotional guidance, communication, healthy relationships, trust building skills, and building self-confidence, which is key for all of us, and especially for our children, so that we can make better choices and socialization skills and things like that. So it's a powerful program, and I'm really excited that we're launching it, and it's starting to pick up a lot of steam. So I'm real grateful for that.
Yeah, I'm very happy for you on that too, because it leads me on to the next question. What's this thing called Mupo Entertainment?
Mupo Entertainment. I was wondering the same thing myself a few months ago, but actually, I've actually gotten involved with Mupo Entertainment and the great Michelle Mupo, and I've met some beautiful people such as yourself, and I'm really excited about this. Being able to find talent and all of the things that Mupo is going to provide and streaming throughout the world. And as a matter of fact, I'd written a book a few years ago called The Resume of Life, and many people thought that should be a movie or something to that effect. So I'd actually gone out to Hollywood to Pitch Fest a few years ago, and they had put the book into the Writers Guild. So Michelle Mupo and I have joined forces, and hopefully we're going to be able to collaborate on this and create a semblance of a dramedy based on the book, The Resume of Life. So this is just so exciting for me to be able to do this and provide some really educational yet funny, we're going to have a good time, types of things. And being from the South, you never know what could happen down here.
It's all been hush anyway. For a long time, but not anymore.
Not anymore.
So
We're
tell me
coming out.
yeah, there you go. So tell me a little bit about bridging the gap training.
Well, actually, like I said earlier, it is a training for parents and educators, and mostly for early to middle child
Okay.
school educators, to be able to have the time and provide quality tools and techniques to work with these children. And again, we'll talk about negative attention seeking skills, positive attention seeking skills, positive role modeling, and understand the effects and the absolute importance of the emotional guidance system. Many of us in back in the day when we were working in corporate America, you may pass one of your colleagues coming down the hall, and one of the first things you might say would be, how you doing today? And their answer usually is, fine, okay, good. And you just keep on walking. And the power of social media has kind of done the same thing, where you scroll down and you hit like or love or anger or send a prayer to somebody that might be asking for some help. And we just keep going and going, but we're actually getting further and further away by doing this from our actual emotions and our feelings and our guidance. And that is, our internal, intrinsic, all-knowing soul self. And we're going to dive deep into the emotional guidance system to be able to understand exactly what we are feeling. Because as I mentioned earlier about when you pass your colleague down the hall, fine, good, and okay, those aren't feelings. FYI, we're going to talk about actually, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm anxious, I'm afraid, I'm angry. All of those things we're going to delve down in and learn to actually identify those feelings and help our children to do the same. And then what caused us to feel that way and how we can improve upon that, or how we handle that feeling, or how we can handle that feeling more appropriately in the long run. You know, I'm actually a Jack Canfield trainer, and his thing was E plus R equals O. And that means event plus response equals outcome. And so pending the event, your response to it equals the outcome. And if you're not able to, if you've had an event that's, for example, made you angry, and your response was to lash out at people or kick things and throw things across the room or punch holes in the wall, then the outcome is you're going to have people that are more fearful of you and not understand, you know, when you might go off again. B, you've caused damage potentially, not only to the building or things, or potentially people that got in the way of something that you threw, but you may have even hurt yourself. And there's the outcome. So how can we take this event and have an improved response and understand our emotions to have a more improved outcome? So those choices and skill making sets of learning how to make better choices and understand that. This program, Bridging the Gap Training, has been defined and absolutely for parents and children, because even when I wrote some of my books, whether it's Promoting Positive Self-Esteem for Children or Bridging the Gap, an Educator's Guide, or Bridging the Gap, a Parent's Guide, that is one of the things. Back when I worked in the mental health field and did family counseling, parents would come in and they wouldn't take responsibility for anything that their child had done. The most important thing, or the most important investment anyone can ever make for themselves, is in themselves. And once we change within ourselves, just like I mentioned earlier about Dr. Dyer, when you change the way you look at things you'll get changed, then it provides a ripple effect for us to put out there and gets mirrored back to us. But that's how we actually have the greatest strength to be able to help others to do the same. What would this world look like, Jojo, if everybody was kind and accountable and grateful for everything and everyone else?
I really appreciate that, because I really think that we can make a difference. And that's why I'm doing the show that I'm doing, because I want people to understand that they could have a bottom. They could get through that. They could look back. I got through that. I can get through this present thing that I'm going through, and the next thing, and the next thing. Yeah. And so I want people to understand that with my Jojo's Mojo show. And it's very important that everybody understand that we can get through anything. Take your pain and work through it and turn it into your passion. And so it's amazing. I love your passion. I love what you stand for and what you represent and what you're wanting to give to the world. And I want to thank you for being on the show with me today.
No, I want to thank you for allowing me to be here today. And again, I'm so grateful to be a part of your show and to call you friend, and also to be a part of Mupo Entertainment and watch us grow and watch us go. Yes.
Grow. We're going to be really beautiful plants and trees and flowers. Yeah. And we're going to help one person at a time.
That's how we have to roll.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show with me. This has been an absolute pleasure. And you take care of yourself. And I look forward to having you in my life, in Mupo Entertainment. And I'm excited about the future things to come.
Thank you. And thank you for allowing me to be here with you today.
You're welcome, sweetheart. All right. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.